Stocks are selling off on this Thursday after a very volatile week, up 1,000, down 300, up 500, now down 500. Hey, Matt, this kind of sounds something familiar. It's called the Elliott wave. For those that are following it, we are kind of following that pattern. And if you do, that means that we are going to see maybe another tick up and then that movement back down and flush out. You see that logic?
No, I don't. I don't have any logic. There's no logic for this. And in all seriousness, anyone who says that they do know what's going to happen, we have no idea. Yesterday was an example of that. We saw Biden really increase, strength, and that seemed to really help the markets trend higher. People now are focusing on the 10-year. This coronavirus, we have no idea if we can get a handle on it, what it's going to do, how severe the impact will be, not only on supply chain, but on humans as a whole. So if anyone's out there going to tell me that they know what's going on and where the market's going, I have no idea.
You know what?
This volatility is, we've never seen anything like this.
You've never seen anything like this?
Not 4%, 3%. Not in the way that we're seeing it. It wouldn't surprise me today if the market closed up on the day. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Wow. Okay. So with that said, look, this thing is there's an outbreak, right? It's going across borders now. Now we're getting some numbers out of the UK. We have JP Morgan apparently moving their trading to alternate sources. Where do you think is the worst place this could break out?
Well, I think from what I'm hearing is that it's weather. Weather plays a huge factor in the spread of it. So the warmer the climate, the less it spreads. It's a respiratory, transmitted disease. Or virus, not a disease, virus. If we have maybe a cold snap, maybe it continues to prolong in the Northeast. We haven't really had it here in the Northeast. We've had, obviously outliers out there. But I'm curious to see if we get a cold snap through March, does that mean that, North America is going to be, really see a huge uptick? That's certainly not what we want to hear. But we really don't know much about it. Obviously, the numbers are going to increase as testing increases, as the quality of testing increases. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the number of cases, rise incrementally. But obviously, what you're looking at is, how do we deal with it? How does the triage part of the hospital units? How do they handle it? Are they oversubscribed? With people, and are we getting some successful cases that that are becoming healthy? Those are the things that you want to look at. The market right now is focusing on one thing, and that's they have no idea what this is and how to cure it. You're seeing some huge numbers being used by some of the, I saw $7 billion in Italy, and what the EU is talking about freeing up, $5 billion from this fund. We don't. That's just a start. We really don't know how to combat this at all.
It is just a start, and of course is why we're seeing this volatile action that Matt just said he's never even seen in his life. Mortgage rates hit a new all-time low. Is that a good thing for the home builders and the associated stocks?
In theory, yes. But it also, if you can stay in your home and refinance at a much lower rate, maybe you're not moving as much, maybe you're not looking to buy a new home. I mean, that would be the contra side or the flip side to that. But I certainly think if mortgages are freed up and people could borrow at this ridiculously low rate, it would be a benefit to them. But people may be concerned if the market keeps going down and up and down, maybe they're not looking to buy a home. Maybe they're looking to squirrel away the money that they have instead of spending it on a home. So there's a lot to look at, obviously, but I would imagine refis are just churning out left and right now because the people that are in a home and want to stay there are now paying a much lower rate.
Sure. Maybe instead of changing the home, boarding up their home and making sure it is seal-proof so that coronavirus doesn't get in.
Well, Home Depot was up 12 yesterday, right? So, something's going on. I think people are, battening down the hatches to some extent. But that's where we are. If you want to look at, things in the economic cycle or technical moves, 3050 in the S&P is a really important number if you're looking at something. We've held it. We held it all morning, kind of right around there. We did test a little bit below. Now we broke through, and now the market's kind of starting to rally. And then we see these 100-point gaps down. So that's the number I'm going to probably look at if I'm looking at something today. It's 3050 in the S&P. See if we can hold that. That would hold most of yesterday's gains, and I think that would be somewhat positive and somewhat constructive.
Okay, great. So 3050, we're going to keep an eye on that. Thank you, Matt, for tuning in today, or you guys for tuning in on our interview with Matt Cheslock. He's here every Thursday. I know you guys love him as we do here on Modern Wall Street. This is Matt Cheslock from Virtu Financial reporting at the New York Stock Exchange.